Welcome everyone, this is John, living in our 50s, and man, have you ever had one of those days where nothing goes right? Seems like I talked to y'all about this not too long ago, but today was one of them days, man. Both jobs I went to do, same thing, I was doing the same thing I was doing. And then the next job, the main job I was there to do was fix the fridge. He didn't had a bad battery last time I was there. It froze and crumbled. It was just pieces. But yeah, he got a new battery in. The fridge still wasn't working. I hooked up my jump box to it, so I didn't think it was going to fix it, and didn't have enough to get it. He's got a good battery in there, and I'm dumbfounded. It's not the board. I took an extra board just in case. Not the board. And now I think it's the eyebrow. So the only place I can find one was out of Washington, so I'm waiting for it to get here. It probably won't be here till Monday. If it comes sooner, then I'll come out here. But it's an hour and a half away from my house, you know. These fuel prices, I can't operate like this. So anyhow, he's willing to pay extra, so we got it rushed here. Hopefully it'll make it by Monday, otherwise it'd been Wednesday. So I'm kind of just got a long drive between here and home, so I thought I'd just turn on the camera and record something. Don't know what, but just sometimes things just don't go the way you plan for them to, you know. I was hoping to have both these jobs wrapped up pretty quick and be done and be home and relax, but I gotta come back out here now. So it's not hard. It's just, you know, it happens that way. I've never had the part that's out on this fridge. I've never replaced. It's called the eyebrow. It's the part on the front of the refrigerator that you turn it on and off, and you switch it from gas to electric. They just call it the eyebrow. I don't know why. But anyhow, it's not. I guess because it's at the top of the fridge or something. I guess. But it is not working. I've got power to it, but I got no function inside of it. So that's more than y'all probably want to hear anyhow. What's been going on? Let's see. I wasn't feeling too good yesterday. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with me. My head really wasn't right. I uploaded. I did edit that video of Mary and I driving around on Easter Sunday, some of these smaller towns. That it's just interesting to me, these small towns, how they came to be, because a railroad needed to stop there to refill with water. And so while they stop there, they'll also pick up from different farms and stuff. The cotton, mainly it was cotton in the area that people were growing, so that the farms were growing. Now, I should have videoed it earlier, but I drove by a solar farm. I talked to y'all about that about this renewable energy and whether or not it's really worth it. I wish I could get a good video of these solar farms, of how big, how massive they are. They're just, maybe I can pull up a satellite image if it's located on there. Maybe I'll try that. So we can do that. But yeah, my wife called me this morning. She thought I was at the gym working out. I was like, no, honey, I'm heading out to Decatur, working on Shay's RV. She's like, oh, okay. She goes, well, there's these tickets. It's called Jub Jam. She listens to this station. It's a sports radio station, and she listens to it almost all day. She Jub Jam they do to benefit, I think it's the senior center this year in Dallas, but it's they're always raising money for something, I think. But one of the people we've been wanting to see for quite a while is Cody Jinks. He's a country singer. And I'm actually driving out here in the area that he lives. I don't know exactly where he lives, but he lives out here in this area somewhere. Anyhow, so he's gonna be the headliner. So she bought tickets. We're gonna get to go see Cody Jinks. If you haven't listened to his music, you should give it a try. It's a different kind of country. I put him up. Well, him and Drake White. Not that their music is the same, but they both kind of buck the system, as far as how they produce, put out their music or whatever. They're not part of the system, I guess, is the way they kind of word it. I don't know. Just, it's different. I really enjoy both of them. Him and Drake White. We haven't seen Drake in a long time, but we've never seen Cody Jinks live, so we're going to go see him. And what else is going on? Let's see. Not a whole lot. I mean, business has been kind of slow. I've got a few calls here and there. I mean, it's a good thing it's slow, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do these jobs that are so far out. I'm hoping to get these jobs, completed. Hopefully, well, it's going to be a couple weeks before I can do that Schwintek slag, because I'll have to order it. It's going to have to be, it takes a couple weeks usually for them to build it. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I got to get pricing for them, see what they want to do. But so, let's see. Yeah, I'm pulling up here into, I think, the town of St. Joe. I don't really know much about it, but Economies to my left. That's where I think I talked to y'all about that. That's where Econo boots used to be made. Then they started making baseball gloves, and somebody bought out Econo boots. But now I think it's a brewery. Probably already told y'all that. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting, all these little small towns. Yep, St. Joe, 1,043 people. More than some of those towns we were driving through Sunday, I'll tell you that. Here, I'll turn the camera around. And some new construction up here on the left, it looks like. Yeah, I did. I think I've already shown y'all that. It's that 50 mil in that tank. There's a couple of 50 milliliter. Yeah. Millimeters. Artillery Museum. It's a cute little town. Look. See the town square. Just figuring out kind of what makes the town, what developed the town, I wonder if it was the railroad. I'll have to look it up and see. I'll put a little message in here maybe if I can remember. But yep, got a first workout since Friday, I guess, tomorrow. My knee was feeling better, but now it was just starting to hurt me at that last stop. I don't know if I twisted on it or what I did. I have to take it easy, I guess. I don't know what to do. Wear a knee brace, maybe? Man, I need to wear a knee brace. We got some, but they're old, like the Ace. Remember those that you just slip up over? It's all elastic. They're old. I probably don't have hold as much anymore. Probably deteriorated. Yeah, I almost forgot. How about go Big Blue, huh? Yeah, I had a feeling they were going to win it. I thought Duke was going to win the whole thing, to be honest with you. After UConn knocked out Duke, I thought it's going to be Michigan. They did it. So, that's good. At least they, I think it's been a while since they won, so that's good. So I was talking to my buddy Shay earlier, and a guy named Travis was there. I've known, not quite as long as Shay, but I've known him for a while, and they know how it used to be. Back when we did set up and tear down for the church for years. He just played in the band. Shay just played in the band, but any warm bodies that were there to, I tried to get everybody involved. And at the time, I thought I was doing the right way, but I look back on it now, and I can tell you that, I was an ass. I was an asshole back then. Not that I can't be now, but I try not to be. I was telling them how much I've kind of reflected on those times, and man, I mean, that's kind of why I started my own business, because I'm a difficult person to work with if, we're getting paid to do basically the same job, and I ain't getting paid. I mean, some of those things are just volunteer jobs, and I didn't understand, I did not understand, hey, you got volunteers, you got to treat them a little better. I'm treating them like crap, and so, yeah, I just say that because as you get older, you start reflecting on things in your past, and you wonder, how are you going to be remembered? A while back I did, a thing on, how you leaving your mark or something like that. I can't remember exactly the title, and somebody had some smart remark, but anyhow, it's like, at your funeral, what are people going to say about you? What are people, how do they remember you? Do they remember you as being this, a person who they like to be around, or were you somebody they saw you, they're like, oh no, because Travis, he said, yeah, I saw your truck out there, and I was thinking, oh, I don't know, man, and I don't want to be remembered that way, at all. I do not want to be remembered as the asshole, I'd much rather be remembered as, yeah, that guy, he went above and beyond, to try to help. That's how you want it. You want people to talk good about you, to remember you in a positive way and not in a dark light. So I'm gonna ask y'all that question. How do you want to be remembered? How is it, you're gonna be? What is your legacy? What is your what are your what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to think. Just, I don't know how you want to be remembered. If y'all, just chime in a little bit and see. Are you gonna be remembered as that guy? Or are you gonna be remembered as that guy? It's a good question to ask yourself before you're gone, because that way you got time to change it. If it's not the way you want to be remembered, then don't be remembered that way. Do something different. Do better, That was one of my things. I always, kind of jokingly, I'd say stuff in meetings and stuff about, somebody be talking about, yeah, I did this and it didn't work, and I'd be, do better, or something. Kind of as a joke, but also I kind of let them know I agree. You didn't do it right. You should have done it this way. But yeah, it was unsolicited of me to interject that to people. So I should do better. We can all do better, right? Can I get an amen? We can all do better. If we are to walk this earth and go and make disciples, you gotta handle things better. You gotta handle disagreements better. If somebody doesn't agree with you, it doesn't mean that they're wrong, you're right. It's, how do I word this? It means that you may not be right. You may have, maybe there's a different, because I think different than I used to think. Back in the day when I was on staff at a church, I had totally different, thoughts about church and how it should work and all that kind of stuff, how it should work, but how it worked and all that kind of stuff that I do today. Back then, I thought it was all about numbers. It's all about numbers. How many people did you bring in? How many people came to Christ? How many people did this? That's not what it's about. When numbers are talked about, a friend of mine, Stan, talked about this. He said, when it talked about numbers in Scripture, it was referring to glorifying God by those numbers. And I was just like, yeah, that's the way. That's how you put that. You know, that's a good way of how to put it. It was talking about the numbers to glorify God, because it for sure was not about the numbers that I've got. You know, us as men, we cannot, nothing we do is nothing that we can do to change people's minds. You know, it's only the Holy Spirit. I thought I was fixing to see a crash. It's only the Holy Spirit. So you've got to trust, let go and trust God to do what He's going to do through you in order for things to work out. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there and see what you guys thought. Is there a good way to word it? Maybe I'm trying to think as I'm driving here. Is there a different way I can word that? Just how do you want to be remembered? What do you want people to say at your funeral? What do you want people to, you know, how are my kids gonna describe to their kids, well, your grandfather was this way, you know, this is what your grandfather would have done, or something. It's kind of why I'm also got these vlogs, so hopefully people can see my true heart in all this and see that, you know, there's a lot to be, we got a lot to offer the older we get. In fact, Travis, when he first saw me, he's like, dang, look at all the gray hair. So that's wisdom, Travis. That's wisdom. He had gray hair too. And he's a lot younger than I am. So, but I thought to myself, you know, just a little while ago, I was thinking, yeah, how do I want to be remembered? Because we just got to talking about, you know, the memories we have of one another back then. Shay hadn't changed a bit. Travis has matured, but Shay hadn't changed a bit, and he's still, to me, he has that whole freedom. You know, there's some people you can tell that, you know, they're in bondage with something. You know, you can tell that he's been through it all, and he has total, complete freedom. And you accept him for who he is, or you don't. You know, he doesn't care. I mean, it's not why he's here. He's not here to please others. You know, he's here just to glorify God. That's it. But yeah, I'm coming into Gainesville, so I'm about another 36 minutes from home. So I think I'll end it here. Got to get a hold of some people on the phone and find out kind of what's going on with some stuff. But, you know, as I always say, if the Lord wills, we'll see you in the next vlog. And if there's any more to add to it, you'll see that. All right? God bless. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy your Wednesday.